Hello, YouTube. Sorry about that. I got hungry and had to grab a cookie. I didn't have dinner yet. I was like, food. So I have my cookie and I'm feeling better now. All right. Hello, all. Let me TikTok. Actually, TikTok's already set up. I give myself credit for that at least. So let me get, oops. All righty. I will get TikTok. Actually, I'm hit the button for TikTok and we're good. Go live. All righty. Good, good, good. Good, good, good. All right. Bam. Mirror my video. All right. TikTok is live. That wasn't so hard. Woo-woo. Anyway. Hello, TikTokers. Sorry I'm a little late. I'm washing cookie off my teeth. I was hungry. I had to have a cookie. I was working and forgot to eat. And then I was like, shit, it's like 10 to 6. I don't have time to eat. So I had an orange and that wasn't enough. So then I had a cookie hoping that would be enough. So I'm like, all right. There. That's ensuring there's no cookie on my teeth, looking really bad for you all. Yes, I got hungry. I couldn't wait. Oh my God. And dog will want. I just gave Sasha some water, so she's good for half an hour. In principle. you know how that goes. Actually, she may be. Oh no, she's she cracks me up. She's in. I did move her beds around. She's got this little bed that she doesn't. It's her. Oh no, she's getting out of it. No, I was getting a picture of her. She saw me and she stopped. I've got a little cat bed for her that she used to do very well in at my mom's. Here, because at mom's it was cornered in, it was on a carpet. Here, it doesn't work like cat bed. So she keeps trying to get inside of it and the bed flips over and so now she's kind of, she knows I was looking at her. So now she's got out of the bed, but she's not moving. Hold on. I want to zoom in to show you. This is, oh no, now she's walking over. Yeah. See, she's up. Oh, well, what do you do? Anyway, welcome everybody. Happy Thursday already. Wow. Happy Thursday. We've got our coffee talk this weekend. Remember, for the paid monthly subscribers, Saturday morning, 11 a.m. If you're a super fan on YouTube, TikTok, a member on YouTube, Discord, same thing. On TikTok, you'll know because you'll have SNN next to your name, like Aileen and Ash and some of the others. Join me 11 o'clock Saturday morning. On YouTube and Discord, you will know because your names will be colored, so to speak. On YouTube, if your name is gray, sorry. But people like Beaver and Jens will be joining us. Emroy. On Discord, same thing. Jeffrey, me, Dave, and others. Zerpachi. Yeah, Zerpachi, I think yours is too. Yours is looking blue. That's got to be a real. Oh, yeah, yours is blue. So, yep. So, thank you, Sandria. Yeah. Oh, hey, Mike. Welcome to Patriot Launcher. Thank you for subscribing. So welcome, guys. Welcome. Okay, amount of news today. Actually, there's a lot of interesting news today, I would say. I don't have any Ukraine news, sorry, but we've got a decent amount of Trump news. You are back. Were you gone? I don't mean to be rude, but I didn't notice you were gone. It hasn't been that long. Were you on like vacation a week or something? Anyway, folks, so there's airport news. I was going to start with the airport news. So, by the way, keep the gifts coming. You guys know how it works. I very much appreciate your gifts on TikTok, YouTube, Discord subscriptions. I do this for a living, so always very happy to get your guys' gifts. Subscriptions, remember, on TikTok, it gets you special emojis. Thank you, OC. It gets you special emojis, and it gets you our weekend show, Saturday mornings. Also, I do occasional special shows for subscribers. I was going to do one for the elections, and I didn't, and I should have, so I will do more of those in the future. Somehow it ended your subscription. Oh, that's weird. Oh, well, glad you're back, but that's weird. So transportation officials. Well, Sandwich Guy is next. We're talking about Sandwich Guy next. But transportation officials. Trump has just announced his plan to slash air traffic across America. So here's what's going on. All right. Trump claims because of the government shutdown, and he blames it on Democrats, it is no longer safe to fly in America. So he's going to cut 10% of the flights this weekend. At the largest airports, it just so happens that most of the airports he's picked are Democratic cities. Now, it's possible that It just randomly happens to be the largest airports in the country are in Democratic cities because, frankly, Democrats rule. A lot of the biggest cities in America are Democratic. And actually, you will hear Republicans sometimes complain and admit it that it kind of gets on their nerves that basically all the states people want to live in are Democratic. All the cities people want to live in are Democratic. Hollywood, Democratic. Broadway, Democratic. Movies, Democratic. Music, Democratic. I mean, at least maybe outside of country music. So it's possible this is just a coincidence that Donald Trump is slashing flights in Democratic cities this weekend, but this is Donald Trump and there are no coincidences. Trump himself, as I said, famously during COVID, said that the administration's response to COVID was going very well, he said, in the first couple of months because there were very few deaths if you didn't count Democratic states. He literally, and Google it, I pulled it up the other day. Because if you don't count Democratic states, we don't have that many deaths and we're doing very well. And I remember watching it live and going, huh? Did you actually just say that? So this is not surprising. He is cutting by 10%, 40 major airports. The airports include New York, Washington, Atlanta, Chicago, Los Angeles, Las Vegas, Philadelphia, Seattle. Sound familiar? Democratic cities. Detroit. I don't know if I had Detroit on the list. That's another one. Boston, again, all Democratic cities. Texas does include Dallas and Houston. So, okay, you've got that at least. But beyond Dallas and Houston, there isn't much that's Republican. I think he's doing it on purpose. But let's see. There's going to be a bailout. Of course, the airlines are going to want to bail out. It's going to be a mess. And frankly, he's admitting that it's not safe. Here's the problem. Denver, I'm sure Denver's on the list. Yeah, I actually had it pulled up earlier. I think Denver's on the list. Here's the problem. Trump already admitted that the shutdown, he's getting blamed. Trump said yesterday, I played the video yesterday for you guys. Trump said yesterday, the election was a disaster the other night. Republicans lost because of the shutdown. Voters blame us for the shutdown. Trump is now shutting down aviation across America. He's trying to go after Democratic cities, but there's no such thing as Democratic cities because here's the problem. And this is where Trump's small mind has issues. He can kill air traffic in lead Democratic cities like Chicago, Atlanta, Washington, New York, Los Angeles, Las Vegas, Philadelphia, Seattle. Here's the problem. When you fly across the country, you don't pick your flight based on Republican and Democratic cities, right? You don't pick your flight because you go, oh, Chicago, they vote Democratic. I'd rather fly through St. Louis votes Democratic too. I'd rather fly through Oklahoma City. I don't know, right? That's not the way it works. You pick your flight based on the cheapest flight and the easiest flight. Trump is screwing Democratic cities thinking he's screwing Democrats. He's actually screwing Americans across the board because all of us fly through Chicago. All of us fly through Denver. All of us fly to San Francisco, Los Angeles, right? It's not, right? It just isn't. It's ridiculous. So A, Trump is killing air traffic to Democratic cities thinking he's hurting Democrats. B, he's actually hurting Americans across the board. C, he's blaming the shutdown and saying the shutdown has made it unsafe. But D, what did Trump admit yesterday? That voters blame him for the shutdown. Therefore, E, voters will blame Trump for shutting down the cities because Trump himself is saying, oh, I'm shutting down air traffic in these cities because of the shutdown. It's making things unsafe. But the voters already think you're responsible for the shutdown, Donald Trump. So they're going to think you're responsible for making things unsafe, and they're going to think you're responsible for shutting down the air traffic. I mean, it's the dumbest thing for him to do. And by the way, keep in mind, Donald Trump is not negotiating with Democrats at all. That's the other problem here. He's refusing to negotiate with them. So it's like, okay, right? He's just keeping it shut down. Don't know about Newark. You can Google. I don't have the article up anymore. There was a big map showing the different cities. You can Google it. It's a mess, guys. And again, recession is a possibility. The airlines are going to lose money. Businesses are going to lose money. 10% of the traffic means a lot of business traffic is going to be screwed. I talked to one of the guys in the comments was talking about how he's flying from, I think, the UK, and he's going to South America or somewhere, and he's flying via New York. And I said, what the hell made you think you should fly via New York? And he says, well, it was just a stopover. I thought I was safe. And I said, you're not safe coming to America, right? This is not, we've talked about this. If I were a foreigner, I wouldn't step foot in this country. I don't think it's safe for you guys. I've just said my opinion. I don't feel safe here. And this is a perfect example of something we couldn't even anticipate. I was thinking more they'd play games with you at the border, even if you're passing through, right? Check your phone and this kind of stuff. I didn't think Trump was going to play games with the flights themselves and start canceling them. Frontier Airlines, one of our airlines, is telling passengers to buy second tickets. They literally told everybody flying Frontier, they said, to be safe, buy a ticket on another airline that you can cancel. Frontier, one airline, God bless them that they said this, but they literally said, make sure if you're flying with us, you buy a ticket on another airline like Southwest, somebody you can cancel and use the money 6 months later. Yeah. The only good thing is it's blowing up in his face. That's the only good thing. He's destroying the country. We know that, but it's hurting him and it's hurting Republicans. That's the only shining, thank you, Julie. The only, not shining, what's the word I'm looking for, saving grace of this whole thing is at least it's going to, blow up in Trump's face. But my God, I mean, 10% of flights at O'Hare is going, and by the way, too, he's also an idiot. You know why? Because he thinks he's only going to kill the flights at Democratic airports. Idiot, where do you think, Donald, that flights from O'Hare go? First of all, he thinks only Democrats fly via O'Hare. That's ridiculous in Chicago. But also, if you kill 10% of the flights at O'Hare, do you know what that's going to do? In Atlanta, which, by the way, Atlanta now I think is the biggest airport. O'Hare is like number 2. You're killing 10% of the flights at the top airports in the country. Those aren't flights that just flew around Chicago and came back. They're flights that left Chicago and went somewhere else. You've now killed 10% of the flights that go all over the country from O'Hare and Atlanta. That's going to have a ripple effect, which means every airport in the country now is going to have delays. Every airport in the country is going to, if you kill the flight from Chicago, you've also killed the flight where the plane arrives, right? If the Chicago flight is going to Denver, if the Chicago flight's going to Phoenix, if the Chicago flight's going to Tampa, you've now killed that flight as well. I mean, this is going to be a disaster for people, absolute disaster. And again, he's an idiot because he already admitted that voters are blaming him for the shutdown. And if voters are blaming him, why is he trying to make the pain of the shutdown greater? Because people are only going to blame him. He's just an idiot. I mean, I keep using the word idiot. I don't know what other word to use for this man. Again, our saving grace is that he's so dumb that he doesn't realize this is going to blow up in his face. Because the election showed voters are pissed at him. Voters blame him. And now he decided to say, well, voters, you voted against me, so I'm going to make you suffer even more pain. Well, and with Thanksgiving coming up, that's a good point too. If he can, and he's doing it on purpose, probably 2 weeks before Thanksgiving. 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 2 weeks, 21 days, 3 weeks, 3 weeks before Thanksgiving. Exactly, Malaka. That's exactly right, Kitty. No, just unbelievable. Food stamps. Good news on the food stamps front. Judge is pissed. Donald Trump, we talked about this, violated a federal court order. Federal judge told Trump the other day, you are going to pay food stamps to Americans who need them. Trump had said, a week ago, Trump said, oh yeah, we're going to continue to give food stamps to poor people. Food stamps are basically food aid, money you give them to buy food. People around the country. 42 million Americans rely on federal support to be able to buy food. Trump a week ago said, oh yeah, there's emergency monies in the budget specifically set aside for this. We'll be able to pay people the money for the food. A couple days ago, Trump goes, well, all the people receiving the food are Democrats. I don't think we're going to pay it. He literally said this. He claimed it was all Democrats. It's not Democrats, by the way. Thank you, William, for the bubble, magic bubble. It's not Democrats. The largest group of people that receive foods politically are Republicans. Republicans, because Republican states tend to be poor, Republican cities tend to be poor. It's Republicans, then Democrats. But Trump, being, again, the theme of the night is just like, right? Trump thinks food stamp recipients are all Democrats, so he figured he was going to punish them and not give them their food benefits. So he cut it off and said, no one's getting any money. Well, Democrats and others go to court to force him to give the benefits because he's got the money. And the judge says, yeah, you're going to spend that pot of money you've got and you're going to give 100% of the food benefits. So Trump turns around and goes, well, we don't really have enough money. We're only going to give 50% of the benefits. The judge ordered him to provide 100% of the benefits. He's got the money. Trump said no. The judge turned around today, pissed off, and said, you are going to give 100% of the benefits. I told you to. Don't disobey my court order. Let me read a little bit more of this. Reading his directive from the bench, this is New York Times. After a short but tense hearing, Judge McConnell sharply criticized the administration for ignoring his original order last week to quickly restart payments for SNAP or food stamps. He attributed the delay in part to an attempt by President Trump and his aides to disrupt the program for political reasons. Exactly. At one point, Judge McConnell pointed to comments by Mr. Trump, who had threatened this week to halt all food payments until the end of the shutdown. While the White House later tried to walk back those remarks, the judge still saw the president's ultimatum as evidence he had failed to comply with the court instructions. This should never happen in America, the judge said, as he warned that millions of poor families could go hungry in the absence of reliable federal aid. He gave the government until Friday to make the payments. Trump is breaking the law. He's committing a crime. He's violating a federal court order. The problem is when it comes down to it, there's nothing the judge can do about it because he would have to use the Justice Department to go after Trump and to go after Trump's officials. And the Justice Department is never going to do it. The Justice Department is Pam Bondi, the blonde woman who doesn't do anything. The FBI is Kash Patel, who's, by the way, Kash Patel, he flew his girlfriend around again. There's a report today from the Bulwark. They got another flight manifest. He already got in trouble for flying his girlfriend around the country using FBI planes. He did it again this week. Your federal tax dollars are paid for Kash Patel's squeeze to go travel with bug eyes around the country. I mean, unbelievable the arrogance of these. Actually, the word hubris is a much better word for this because it's more than arrogance. Thank you, OC. It's a Greek word, I do believe, hubris. It's just unbelievable. Unbelievable. Anyway, that does deserve a follow. Follow me. I always forget to ask you guys on TikTok. Make sure you follow me if you like my show. I do this. I admit I did have a nice tea before the show, so I'm flying a little higher than usual. This is true. But I do this Monday to Friday, 6 o'clock Eastern time, US. We go over the latest news of the day. My background is politics and media and law in Washington, D.C. So I like to think I provide sort of some insight into what's going on with the news. And I like to think I'm fun. or we're fun. We have fun together. So this is a typical show for us, although I'm not usually having this much caffeine. But sometimes I do. What else we got? Sandwich Guy. He's free. Wait, where's my... I've still got my sticker I still have to make my t-shirt. This is my iron-on sticker that I've not done yet, but it's an actual image somebody has been putting around DC for posters, and I grabbed it and had ChatGPT redo it, and I'm making a t-shirt out of this. It's free DC. It's fabulous. Well, Sandwich Guy, Sean Dunn, is free. The Trump administration decided they were going to make an example of this guy. So a couple months ago, he was a paralegal at Department of Justice. And he sees a bunch of Border Patrol, in this case, it was ICE and Border Patrol officials doing what they were doing. They did a federal takeover of Washington, a police takeover, like a military takeover of Washington, to make our city safe. Bullshit. They claimed they were doing it to fight crime. In fact, they used these guys, National Guard included, they used them to pick up trash, to mulch around the plants, and then to arrest people they thought were illegal and to harass people they thought might be Latino. That was it. There was no crime fighting? No crime fighting by these guys. I mean, practically no crime fighting. Well, the one guy sees it. He gets upset, guy in his 30s, and he sees them like harassing Latinos and stuff. And he has a Subway sandwich. Subway is a very popular food chain here in America, a sandwich chain. They're very good. Very, very, I don't say common. Common is a word maybe in some languages, you know what I mean? We're meaning of the people kind of food. It's very good. Not very expensive. And he's holding a foot-long Subway sandwich. Only in America, of course, our sandwiches can be foot-long, 1 foot. And he's holding a foot-long, Subway sandwich. What's it, 25, well, a little more. 30 centimeters maybe. And he throws it at the Border Patrol people. And the sandwich, it's still wrapped up. The sandwich hits the Border Patrol guy in the chest and falls to the ground. Well, they arrest him. They don't just arrest him. They send, I forgot about this, armed men in tactical gear burst into the kid's apartment to do an investigation to look for terrorist stuff, like his computer. We're talking armed men in tactical gear, like SWAT teams, the looking like the secret military police, right? Barged into his apartment. They sent cameras and promoted this slick video of them like bragging about how they got him. But literally, the Department of Justice and the FBI did a video breaking into this kid's apartment with all of their tough gear. He threw he's some white guy, paralegal, working at the Justice Department. He's as white bread as you get. And in America, there's a lot of, I'm saying on purpose this, because there's a lot of loaded stuff in here about like some paralegal white guy in his 30s is about as benign as you get in this country. And they've got the secret police barging down his door and taking videos of him, taking videos of them knocking down his door like the secret police. Well, they go to court. And they go to a grand jury and they're trying to get an indictment. An indictment basically is when you're trying to do a felony, you have to go to sort of a jury of sorts, and you have to present the evidence, and the jury has to say, yes, I agree. Let's prosecute him. They couldn't get the jury to prosecute. The jury was like, this is ridiculous. He threw a sandwich. So they couldn't get felony charges. This is Trump's buddy, Jean Pirro, who's doing this. Americans may know who she is. She's a big right-wing MAGA nut from Fox News. They're all Fox News. And so she can't get the felony charge. So they decide they're going to get a misdemeanor charge. A misdemeanor is literally, you threw garbage on the ground, like you littered is a misdemeanor, right? So they're going to get him on a misdemeanor charge. They spend 3 months preparing the case against the guy. They get there before the jury, and the Border Patrol guy says, I kid you not, the Border Patrol guy says, I was wearing body armor and I could feel the sandwich hit my chest, even though I was wearing body armor. And you're going, if I were in the courtroom, I would have laughed, right? He's trying to say it was such a forceful sandwich that even in his body armor, he could feel it. It's a sandwich. And by the way, we talked about this the other night. Subway, God bless Subway, but they use American bread. You know what I mean? Americans know what I mean, but you foreigners do too. That American bread that's it's not exactly a French baguette, okay? Not like a French baguette's going to hurt you, but a French baguette is at least hard. Subway bread is mou, as we say in French. It's just soft. It's white and soft, So throwing this Subway sandwich, he felt it on his body armor. Well, he then said, once it hit me, it exploded. He kept trying to use language of weapons, right? Of explosives. So my body armor, I could feel it. It exploded, he claimed. There was mustard and ketchup everywhere. And my favorite, a piece of onion landed on the antenna of my car. He goes, a piece of onion was hanging on his antenna. So the kid's lawyer gets up there and goes, okay, well, you had your body camera on. Let's watch the body camera image. He goes, okay. He shows the body camera image, and you see, the sandwich hits the ground, and you see the cop looking at it on the ground. And he goes, is that the sandwich on the ground? He goes, yeah. He goes, that's the sandwich. The sandwich that is still completely wrapped up in the wrapper. It came in from the store. Yeah. He goes, how did it explode when it hit you? And there was mustard on your uniform and onion on the car, when we're literally looking at the video. The sandwich is on the ground and it's still wrapped up perfectly. But imagine being the lawyer. This would be the most fun. The other thing I read today, which I had no idea they said this, he claimed, you're going to love this. He claimed the kid threw the sandwich at me point blank range. Thank you, Norway. Point blank range. Point blank range is when you somebody and you do it like here. And it's really dangerous because it's full force because it's right here. Throwing a sandwich point blank range? I read that today. They were doing all they could to make it sound like this was terrorism. Well, the jury threw the case out. The jury found him innocent, so he's free. They wasted 3 months doing it. This was Gene Pirro. This was Donald Trump's. This was the White House doing this to this kid. And they found him totally innocent. We need to find out, by the way, if he's had any court charges or anything, like if he needs help with that. I don't know. My suspicion is he's already being helped, but we should find out if he needs help, because that would be a neat thing to raise money for. I freaking love it. Sandwich guy, but I love that. Point blank range. Like, it's a sandwich, and it's a Subway sandwich. I love my Subway sandwiches, but they're the softest thing you could ever. I can't even compare it to anything. It's not like sandwiches in Europe. Our bread is soft. At least a baguette, a baguette is hard. These sandwiches are not hard. They're soft. Oh my God. They're mushy. They are mushy. I love them. They're great. I get the meatball sandwich, but the meatball sandwich alone is not dangerous because the sandwiches are so soft that they absorb the sauce and they fall apart. They just get squishy. So like the danger isn't getting hurt by a Subway sandwich. It's just falling apart. I love my meatball sandwiches from Subway. They're really good. I know, now I want one. I've been talking about it. My mouth's watering. My mouth is watering talking about it. It's so good. Oh my God. Exactly. German heart. Exactly. If he were a terrorist, he would have bought a German rye, a German black bread, or a French baguette. Actually, bien cuit. If you bought a French baguette cooked well, because you can ask how you want it cooked, then you might be in a little more trouble with the law. Right? But going to Subway means you're not a very good terrorist if you go to Subway. You're really not. Oh my God. I just thought that was the funniest damn thing. So he's free. Woo-woo! Point blank range. Oh my God. What else we got? Supreme Court. Okay, so bad news. Supreme Court cleared the way on Thursday for the Trump administration to stop issuing passports that include gender identity marking selected by applicants. The emergency order, which will remain in place as the case makes its way through the courts, marked the latest victory for Trump. The case stems from a Trump administration policy to change gender requirements for passport holders. Bottom line is they want to no longer let you change your gender on your passport if you're transgender. And the court said Trump can do that preliminarily while the case goes through the courts. This is a really weird story. Elon Musk he just won this. Elon Musk had a proposal in that, it kind of blows my mind. Elon Musk had a proposal in that if he is able to increase the value of Tesla to $8 trillion over the next 10 years or something like that, he will get a salary or whatever, or a bonus worth $1 trillion. $1 trillion. And the Tesla shareholders said, okay. I mean, I used to own shares of Tesla. I sold them because he so creeped me out. I was just like, ugh. But $1 trillion, seriously? And finally, there was a really good article from Politico. I grabbed a portion of it because I want to read it to you. It's called "Donald Trump Enters His Lame Duck Era." Lame duck is a term in American politics that is used for politicians who are no longer facing elections and therefore nobody cares. In other words, politicians are no longer afraid of them because it's a president that can't run for office again like Trump. Now, Trump is a little different because he's got his MAGA minions who are very violent and who he's able to use to scare members of Congress. Republicans in Congress have literally said part of the reason they don't stand up to Trump is because they're afraid of the Trump supporters calling their families and threatening to hurt them, basically. Nonetheless, I'm going to read you this article from Politico. Hours after witnessing his party's worst electoral drubbing in at least 6 years, President Trump hosted Senate Republicans at the White House and demanded they ditch their chamber's supermajority rules. If you don't terminate the filibuster, you'll be in bad shape, Trump told them at a breakfast. It was classic Trump dominance theater, like many other occasions this year, where he successfully muscled recalcitrant Republicans to confirm controversial nominees, support divisive policies, and enact sweeping domestic policy legislation. But upon returning to the Capitol, the senators made it clear they planned to blow Trump off. One GOP Senator, Mike Rounds of South Dakota, laughed out loud when asked about the anti-filibuster push. Welcome to the dawn of Trump's lame duck era. Retiring Representative Don Bacon, Republican of Nebraska, called Democrats' victory margins Tuesday a red flag to the GOP and blasted Trump's refusal to engage with the other party. Quote, he has zero ability to walk across the aisle, he added. He needs to face reality and learn how to talk to Democrats he can reason with. Other House Republicans more quietly aired frustration with Trump's approach to the record 37-day shutdown, which headed into the end of the congressional work week with no clear end in sight. Many are privately signaling they're prepared to break with Trump if he doesn't allow Republicans to negotiate on an extension of the Obamacare insurance subsidies Democrats are demanding. Others blamed the president and his top budget aide, Russ Vought, for favoring hardballed moves such as canceling blue state transportation projects and firing federal employees that only served to cause Democrats to dig in further. One irate senior House Republican, granted anonymity to speak candidly, blamed Trump and Vought for spurring the shutdown with their unprecedented move to unilaterally rescind congressional funding over the summer through a so-called pocket rescission. That decision is why we're in this mess. What he's talking about is Trump decided earlier this year to pretty much illegally just cut the budget. Remember, Elon Musk, we're just going to shut down USAID. We're just going to shut down the Department of Education. Anything that Trump didn't like, he was just going to stop spending money on. Well, if you're a Democrat and the Republicans right now are saying, fund the government for another 3 months while we negotiate legislation, whatever it is. If you're a Democrat and the Republicans are going, oh, don't worry, we'll just agree to continue funding the government at the current level that we've been funding it at. And Democrats go, well, wait a minute. We have not been funding it at this level. We funded it at this level before, and Donald Trump refused to spend the money. Everything we agreed to as Democrats, Donald Trump hasn't spent money on. He only spent money on the Republican portions that we agreed to. So we already passed a budget that included Democratic and Republican portions. Trump only spent the Republican portions. He's not spending the Democratic portions of the budget. So why should Democrats agree to extend that budget another 3 months when Trump is only going to spend the Republican money and not the Democratic money? So in essence, we're not passing the same budget. We're passing the Republican part of the budget, not the Democratic part. That was a big part of what happened with the shutdown. It wasn't just Obamacare, though it was. It wasn't just Medicaid, though it was. But it was also Democrats saying, we need assurances that if we reach a deal, a negotiation with Republicans in Congress, and the Republicans say, we will all pass this legislation if we fund this for Democrats and this for Republicans, Trump isn't going to say, well, yeah, we're just not going to spend money on the Democratic stuff. That's what happened. So what's interesting is these Republicans are even admitting that Trump caused the shutdown by basically unilaterally cutting all the Democratic programs. Remember how he shut all these transportation projects in New York and New Jersey because he wanted to punish Democrats. And it was like, huh? And now he's shutting aviation in Democratic cities across the country? He's a tyrant and he wants to punish Democrats. Well, good luck, Republicans. It is an abuse of power, sweet. It's very much an abuse of power. But Republicans control the House and Senate. Democrats can't do anything about it. Well, what the Democrats can do is say, we're not going to fund a continuing resolution unless Republicans agree to put the money back that Trump stole, in part, Medicaid, but also unless Republicans agree to put it in that Trump can no longer steal the money. Now, I don't know how you put it in that he can't steal the money because he's already not allowed to steal the money. He's already broken the law by doing it. But, right, there was anti-terrorism and money too. That's right, Carol. Yeah, no, crazy stuff. Sorry, that's it for the news, but kind of crazy stuff. Yeah, so anyway, woo. All right, well, now we do the part of the show we hang out. Do follow me on TikTok. Do follow me on YouTube. Keep the gifts coming as well. Papa needs a new pair of shoes. I don't. That's just an expression. My shoes are fine. But I do appreciate the support. So keep it coming, guys. Oh, Nancy Pelosi's retired. I totally forgot to mention that. Thank you. Nancy Pelosi's retiring. It's funny because people were asking this week about her. Pelosi is, did we say 85, 86, 80, no, 80. Did we say she's 85, 86-ish? Representative from San Francisco. And she announced she's not going to run for re-election, which means when her term runs out, 85. When her term runs out next year, she's not going to run again. And good for her. You know what? She's been very effective as we said yesterday, thank you, Gene. Oh, very nice gift, Gene. Thank you. Level 20 gift. When she's been very effective, and I generally am pretty supportive of members of Congress when they're effective. I don't really, there we go, adjusting my light a little there. I don't really care if she's old as long as she's good, and she's been good. But it's also good of her to recognize it and say, you know what, I've had enough. So good for her. No, she's doing it the right way, though. I think she stayed as long as she was effective, and finally, whether she decided, thank you, Dave, whether she decided she can't be effective any longer, although maybe she just decided, you know what, I'm 85. Let's have a couple years free, and let somebody young take over. But good for her, because that's the way you should do it. They shouldn't wait until they're, Chuck Grassley or my God, Dianne Feinstein was just horrible. She was the Walking Dead. It was absolutely horrific watching her, Are we begging for water? Oh, no, no, she's begging for a treat. Of course she is. Yeah. I thought the dog was begging for water, but she's looking up at her treats. It's the time change again. She still has not adjusted to the fact that it's not 7:30. Biafra? What the hell am I going to say about Biafra? I don't know what's going on with Biafra in Nigeria. I learned about it in the 1970s, but no idea today. Quiet, please. Do you think Democrats can run without Nancy? I'm not sure you mean in San Francisco? I have no idea, although it's San Francisco. I mean, who's going to win? A Republican? Quiet. Quiet. Anyway. What else? What else? I know I was going to say that we learned about that in the 1980s, and it was something that happened in the 70s. Was it a famine in Biafra? I want to say that was the story from 50 years ago. I thought it was that. Yes, you can't hear her. I have eagle ears. I do. We studied it in graduate school. It just stuck in my head. Civil War. Well, it was the Nigerian Civil War overall. I remember that. And there were 3 groups. And I'm already forgetting the names. It was 3 different groups that were fighting, ethnic groups. But I want to say there was a famine in Biafra or something associated with it. But, oh yeah, no, we already know that. We talked about the other day. Trump said he was going to invade Nigeria. We did talk about that. And yes, corruption is very bad in Nigeria. It has been for years. Although I had that happen in Mali too. The guy wanted my pen. I arrived in Mali and I was filling out the form and he's like, "Can I have your pen?" I think I must have given it to him because they already warned me. They said they're really corrupt. They did warn me. They said it was Cote d'Ivoire. It was Cote d'Ivoire or Mali. But they told me, they said they're going to try to get I think it might have been Cote d'Ivoire. He said they're going to try to get your stuff. I think it was Cote d'Ivoire because Cote d'Ivoire was worse. She goes, he's going to try to take your stuff. I said, all right. And he wanted the pen. And I went, you know what? Sure. Have my pen as a gift. Because it was a pen. I mean, it wasn't like a nice pen or anything. But, her daughter. Yeah, I like Nancy Pelosi's daughter. She's good. Anyway. Anyway. Oh, excuse me. You know me, yawning. So what else, guys? I have no idea, Alejandro. That is totally over my head. I don't know anything about that. No, sorry. What else, guys? Now we hang and we talk about whatever you like. Deep. Or I end early, which I haven't really done that in a while. We usually find topics to talk about. I am well, thank you. When do I think the shutdown will end? I mean, God only knows. God only knows. I mean, are they cutting cargo flights? I don't know. That's a good question. I didn't see specific mentions of that. I thought it might have said cargo was included. I don't know if it's in the notes that I took. I can look. But I don't know. I thought cargo's included. Yeah, I thought cargo was included, but I'd have to look and see again. Anyway. Tomorrow in Supreme Court? Well, if you mean tomorrow, will we hear about the tariffs? I don't know. We could. We don't think they're going to wait for long. Typically, they would hear a case now and we'd hear the result in May or something or June. But they think the way the court took the case, it's going to be much quicker. So it could be as early as tomorrow. It could be as early as next week. So So there. Subway has its own smell? Nah, no, I don't know about that. Not that I noticed. Well, which 10% will he cancel? He's trying to go after Democratic cities, but good luck with that. My guess is they're going to look at flights between Democratic cities, which again is stupid because that doesn't mean anything. Who's flying those flights, right? I mean, I have not done any baking. No, I do need to. I mean, I've got enough. I mean, I like had made some blueberry crisp for a neighbor's birthday, so I've got some of that. Greek neighbor gave me some baklava, so I have like sweets I'm working through. So I've not been baking. And I've still got a few leftover Greek cookies. So I've got but I want to actually, what I want to do is make some, I need to make more buttermilk biscuits. I've got a very good buttermilk biscuit recipe that I like to eat for breakfast. And I do need to make some more of those. So if not today, tomorrow, I will do that. So anyway, I did actually have a fun experience today. I found a distant relative in Greece contacted me for my heritage. And this has only happened twice that I've met somebody interesting. Usually it's people who meet and they have no idea why. They're like, well, our DNA matches. We have no connection. Why? One guy, we know why. He's in Australia. Very exciting. I mean, they're very nice people. And we know the connection. And that was kind of fun finding somebody you didn't know. This guy is a younger Greek guy who basically saw that I had the family tree of our sort of famous family going back to the revolution. And his grandmother has always told him they're related to that family, that her grandmother it's a Papatsotis is the family, that her grandmother was a Papatsoti. And he asked me, he goes, you got a huge tree. Can you look and see if this name Aphrodite is on the tree? And I got better. I said, oh, there's 2 Aphrodites on the tree. Beyond that, we don't know, but I gave him access and we just talked like for an hour on the phone. He's totally into the family history. He's got all these history books about my family. I mean, it was as somebody into genealogy, it was so much fun because like total stranger, we totally hit it off and he's into it. So like he's got a ton of books already and he knows a bunch of the people in the village who do the genealogy. I was like, yay. So this is like a whole other fun. It's not going to help me with my citizenship. Well, it gives me a good story for my citizenship, but it's neat to find somebody, which I've never had happen, on one of these sites in all these years, these genealogy sites where they're into it too. And they also know a ton and have a bunch of resources. Now I know a ton too. So like I was telling him information he didn't know about because I know about our family history, but still very fun. Still very fun. So yes, I'm looking forward to that. And he wants to possibly write something someday and I do too. So it was fun. We had fun doing it. I mean, we're not really using a site. I mean, most of my family tree is on Ancestry. I put up a copy on My Heritage just because I don't update My Heritage. I do update Ancestry, but our family tree is pretty filled out at this point. I did just add a couple people, which was new yesterday. We think we found another ancestor, like beginning ancestor. Like we went a level back, which is interesting. I think it's a guess, but it's a good educated guess. I mean, it depends. I do not pay Ancestry. No, I do it for free. My Heritage, I will say, I'm doing the 2-week free thing and then canceling because they're all too expensive. They all should be cheaper. I would pay for cheaper, but they're all like $15 a month or more. And I'm sorry, that's too much. But My Heritage, in Greece's case, has a bunch of the Greece electoral rolls and some of the other records from the 1800s. They're online and it's great, and they do, I think, they've gone and translated it to the best of their ability, but they also have the records that if you speak Greek, you can read it yourself, which is kind of neat too. So My Heritage does have a lot of, Ancestry has nothing for Greeks in Greece, whereas My Heritage has a ton of shit for Greeks in Greece, which can be very helpful. Some guy passed out in the Oval Office. I didn't hear about that. That's interesting. Did not know that. Related Greek goddess? No. Oh, Aphrodite. Yeah. Oh, we've got names. There's an Aphrodite in our Aphrodite. We've got an Apollo. My uncle. We had an uncle who was Apollo. I remember. I can't remember. I've got an Aunt Athena, which is kind of funny. I mean, funny, whatever. We've got Dionysios. Dionysus is a very common name. We've got a cousin, Dionysus. Beyond that, I'm trying to think. I don't know Greeks like are all the god names used? Like I don't know, is Artemis used? I'm trying to think of other Greek names, like whether they're used or not. You know what I mean? You know, like the other Greek god names. I don't know. Like Poseidon? I don't know. Hades. Well, but Hades is I'm forgetting if Hades is the Greek. I always get confused with the Roman ones. Confuse me sometimes. But Artemis is used. Mike says, okay. Dog, I know you think it's. Oh my gosh, she's staring at her treats. This is the time change screwing her up. Ares, of course, because I have a cousin named Ares, Aristides, or my grandfather was Ares, Aristides. Diana, of course, but Diana is Adis. What's Adis? What is Adis? I don't know that. Yeah, Ares. Your dog's name is Ares. Ares is a good name. Yeah, Athena. We have Athenas. Anyway, Hades is a Greek god. Okay, but not an Olympian. Okay, he was punished. Zeus. We don't have Zeus. I've never heard Zeus. Zeus. That would be funny for somebody. Hera. I've never heard Hera. Oh, Hades is Hades. Okay. Oh, thanks, Bono. Yeah, naming your kid Hades would be a little like calling your kid Satan. I feel like that might cross a line, right? Hermes, yeah, but Hermes too. Hermes? It's funny. You guys would know better. I'm just thinking like in the family, right? Like I said, we've got Dionysios, we've got Loki. That'd be funny. Hercules, yes, I believe Hercules you would have. I'm pretty sure. Help me out, Greeks, but I think Hercules is a name that actually I'm thinking of it in Italian. Like is it Ercoleo? I'm trying to remember what it was in Italian. Quiet. Oh my God. Jesus. They do Hermes and Heracles. Oh, that's interesting. They use Heracles, Hercules. They do use Heracles. Now, that's interesting. Hermes they use too for Hermes. That's interesting. Odysseus? Would it be? What would it be for Odysseus? Estia for Hestia. Dinner, I don't know. I've got to say, I may be doing something frozen because I didn't prepare anything for dinner. Although I may also have Ercole. Okay, I was going to say, and I was thinking of the Italian name for Hercules. Oh, hello, Crew Freeman. The court on which? On tariffs? I mean, the court seemed to be anti-Trump on tariffs, but they've been so sycophantic, who knows? But hey, Jesus Christ. Clearly they've been, they were very negative in court to him, which is usually a good sign. Hippolyta? That's funny if that's a name. Hippolyta, oh my God. I mean, that's getting a little more arcane as far as the gods go. But anyway, I have a Subway. I don't live close enough to, I mean, there is a Subway several blocks away, but I'm not in the mood to walk to Subway and back. It's also DC. I don't like going places at night. I really don't. I don't feel safe walking around. Like I would go to Subway. I don't feel safe walking around, to be honest. I never have felt safe at night walking around. Which is too bad, obviously. One of the things I don't like about living in DC, I don't like living somewhere where I don't feel safe walking at night alone, But I know the new Egyptian museum, I kept seeing all the videos of it. Oh my God, it looks cool. At the Egyptian museum at Giza. So freaking cool. So cool. But that was kind of a neat, I've never been to Egypt. I've been dying to go. I don't love the idea of all the tourists. I hate tourist stuff, but I love the archaeology. So I had the opportunity to go teach in Egypt out of law school. I was 20, I was 25. And a friend had just done a teaching gig at a French school, a French lycée in Cairo. And he said he could get me the job. It was like a 3-year job. And he said he could get me the job. And it was teaching English to I don't know if it's French kids or Egyptians. I'm guessing it's had to be Egyptians, but Egyptians going to a French lycée, French high school, and teaching them English. And he loved it. And I almost did it, but I thought my only fear was like leaving DC and then what? Like, where do I come back to? What do I do? I still should have freaking done it. I mean, my God, I should have done it. What a cool job that could have been, living in Cairo for 3 years in your 20s could be worse, it would have been very cool. Yeah. But what do you do? And a French lycée, which means with the other teachers, I could have spoken French and like, what do you do? Anyway. Oh, I'm sure it would have been, I mean, in retrospect, I could kick myself. It would have been amazing. I mean, I've done a lot of cool stuff anyway in life. So what do you do? It's not like I've missed out, but you still look at things like that. Oh, good night, Dave. You still look at things like that and go, oh, that would have been fun. What do you do? What is Gunther doing? Gunther. I'm not even quoting that. Gunther's being mean over on YouTube. Anyway, what else? So yes. Oh yeah. So I'm thinking I've got, I did my cherry tomatoes. I'm thinking of making something easy like cherry tomato feta. I need to buy cucumbers actually. But cherry tomatoes, feta, and just toast some bread with a vinaigrette and just kind of have that for dinner. I think it'd be kind of fun. So it's simple, healthy enough, a little fatty, but healthy enough. Pasta. I guess I could put it on pasta. Is that what you're saying? I've never thought of that. I probably could put it on pasta or something. Actually, I could put it on pasta. That's true. Tacos? What are tacos? Thanksgiving? I'm going to friend's house, thank God. Some friends invited me out in the suburbs. I was telling you guys, if you know people who live alone, for the love of God, invite them for Thanksgiving. Like maybe even Christmas, but like I had no plans for Thanksgiving. After mom died, Thanksgiving blew up for me. I never had plans for Thanksgiving anymore. I would always go to my mom's for the last 50 years. I'd go to mom's. And all of a sudden I had no plans for Thanksgiving. And last year I had to beg a neighbor to get these guys to invite me to their Thanksgiving because I was like, this is just sad. And this year the same thing happened. I talked to a bunch of friends. One friend's in Asia. Another friend's working. Another friend, they're going to his husband's parents. And I was like, are you fucking kidding me? And it's my birthday this year, Thanksgiving. So out of the blue, their friends, but I wasn't going to tell them, said, are you doing anything for Thanksgiving? I was like, no. You want to come? I was like, thank God, yes. My sister is in Arizona. A bunch of the family's in Arizona. I can't go to Arizona for the weekend. First, there's nowhere to stay because a bunch of her kids are going out there. Hey, Dave or David. So no, I was very happy, but seriously, your birthday is my birthday then. Mine's Thanksgiving as well. But this, I think I have learned this absolutely positively. If even better, if you have friends who live alone and if somebody dies in their family, like a mom or dad or something, and ask them what they're doing for Thanksgiving, even Christmas, because that's probably what they used to do. And all of a sudden it doesn't exist anymore. It's not fun. I mean, Christmas I'm spending with my sister and everybody in Chicago. Christmas is going to be a mess too, because they're all moving to Arizona. And then I've got to go to Arizona for Christmas, which I don't object, but it's, I don't object. If I've still got the dog, it's not going to be fun figuring that one out. But Thanksgiving, I'm not going to, with the dog, it's just too hard. Like I've got relatives in Chicago who invited me if I didn't have the dog, I would. I'd probably go to Chicago for the weekend. Although with the traffic, who knows? But anyway, make sure to ask people. I've learned that now. Now I've learned, check in with people that because you'll be, and again, they're not going to tell you. Like I found, I wasn't going to tell my friends I have no Thanksgiving plans for the rest of my life. Like you can't tell people that. You sound pathetic, Christmas style enchiladas for Thanksgiving. I have no idea what that means. Exactly. I am Mel, although I'm on the cusp, I believe. I think I'm a couple days away from whatever the December thing is, Anyway, Thanksgiving is November 27th this year. It's always the fourth Thursday of the month. So, yeah, the Republicans are suing California. Of course. I'm Sagittarius, actually. I'm Barrera. That's what it is. I'm on the cusp of Scorpio, but I'm actually Sagittarius. Yes. I hear ya. I know. Almost there, Sash. Almost there. Yeah, well, I'm coming from DC, so Phoenix is, which the problem is the dog too. Phoenix is 5 hours from DC. It's a hell of a. I can't bring this dog on a 5-hour flight. There's no way. So that's part of the problem. I'm Sagittarius. I don't really follow such things, but I am. I'm not really big on the, on the thing. Does the dog get a Thanksgiving? No, she does not. Although she's going to probably go with us because I don't know. I know. Hi, you're okay. Oh boy, the wine. Oh my God. Well, you're seeing her butt there on YouTube. I hear you. I know. She's not understanding the time change at all. So she's sitting there going, we are now half an hour after I get my treat. I give her a little bit of toothpaste for her teeth and then brush her later. And a little bit of and a little bit of, don't you walk away from me. I was going down to pet her and she backed up. Like, you little biatch. What was that about? So bad. Here, you can there we go. That's the angry, whiny mess that is my dog. And she's just literally sitting here going, hold on, see if you can, I'm turning up the mic. Can you hear it? There you go. I turned up the mic really hot, but I'm assuming you could probably hear it. That's what I listen to all day long. All day long. It is in my ear. I'm trying to sleep and I get it. I try to take a nap and I get it. I try to work and I get it. Or I try to do the show and I get it. And it's all day. And of course, it's pathetic so that you just feel bad because she's going, I know, I hear you. Hi. I'm not picking you up. Chill out. Relax. I'm not picking you up. Okay. Hi. Oh my God. Oh, exactly. Dad. That's exactly what it is. It's like, what does the vet say? She's a whiny biatch. What does the vet say? There's nothing. She's whiny. She's getting older and she's whiny. Oh, she hates being picked up. I would pick her up. No, mom's dog liked to be picked up. Mom's dog, Kukla, remember? Kukla would wait until we were maybe 55 minutes into the show. And then Kukla would start to go, Rurf. And then she'd stop for half a second. Rurf. And it meant pick me up. So I'd have to go and pick Kukla up, and then I would hold her and she'd fall asleep. And this big dog, 10 pounds of fur, 10-pound dog, 20 pounds of fur. And you just hold her and she'd fall asleep on my arm. And she was adorable, absolutely adorable. Sasha does not want to be picked up. Hey, stop. Thank you. Okay, now she's back in her bed. Okay, she's in her bed whining now, which is even more pathetic because she's in her bed because she's kind of giving up, but she's still whining. So she gave up, but she's not giving up. She's not asthmatic. She's literally whining. Trust me, if you could hear it live, it's not asthma. She learned, in the last 2 years, somehow she learned to whine, and she's got all sorts of different whines, and it's the most annoying thing ever. A pacifier. Yeah. But no, Kukla was adorable. Kukla annoyed me, but it was actually kind of at mom's house, literally within the first hour, the end of the first hour of the show, she'd want me to pick her up, and she'd demand I pick her up, and then she was fine. And then Kathy's dog was funny because Kathy's dog kind of wanted to be picked up. Kathy's dog is the 2.5-pounder, Layla. I remember Layla, I picked her up like this, and she just fell asleep on my shoulder. And I was holding her, and you guys, I didn't even notice it. You guys goes, oh my God, she's asleep. And I looked, and she's like, this 2.5-pound thing on my shoulder. It was very cute. Sasha does not want to be picked up, does not want to fall. Sasha wants to fall asleep next to you on the couch. She likes that. If I was on a couch right now, if I were on a couch, she would fall asleep next to me. That'd be okay. but she wants to touch you. She doesn't want to be on you because being picked up is like, oh, for her. It was crazy, but your mother used to call you Kukla? Yeah, Kukla. Mom would call me Kukla too sometimes. Kukla we call people in Greek for my baby. Like your parents will, but your mother will call you Kukla. I hear you. Oh my God. Stop. Thank you. I know. Stop. You will survive. I'm almost done. Oh, God. Oh my God. But she only picked up the whining in the last like 2 years. And now she whines for everything. And it's an everything thing. It drives me insane. Absolutely insane. Oh God. Anyway. I know. I hear you. Yeah, exactly, Jeffrey. It's like, well, somebody invite Jeffrey. I know, like I've made my own I'd make my own stuffing too. Although I'm making mine has a very great stuff. So I'm going to make a number of things for the party I'm going to. So I've got Shea Spence's really good what do you call them? Corn muffins, but an excellent cornbread recipe, corn muffin recipe that's to die for. And corn muffins are not usually to die for. His are to die for. My mom's stuffing or dressing, that's to die for. And I was going to make a couple other things. I can't remember what. Some easier things that are very good. Because the stuffing takes some time. But I've got it. There was something else I was going to make. I had it written down. I've still got some of my my Scottish tablet in the freezer. I may bring some of that. There was something else. I can't remember what else I was thinking for Sasha. I hear you. Just wait. No. No. Where is this? This is annoying. I said I've been looking at other recipes for things. Turkey. Here we go. Oh no, that was the wrong one. That was where is this crazy thing? Let me hold on. Quiet. Nope. Where is this crazy thing? Let me muffins? Yeah. I'm trying to find the word. Here he goes. So yes, mom stuffing, cornbread muffins. Oh, cranberry sauce. I asked her, she said they don't always make cranberry sauces. I got to have cranberry sauce. So I'm going to make cranberry sauce too. Beyond that, that might be it because the stuffing will take a lot of work. The cornbread's easy and the cranberry sauce is great. She's already going to have some sweet potato thing. So I said, perfect. I can't decide about dessert, but as I said, I could probably bring the Scotch tablet in the freezer is enough and it goes a long way. So I might bring some Scotch, although the Scotch tablet is so hard to make that I'm tempted to leave it in the freezer and eat it over the next several months because it takes an hour to make, but I mean, an hour on the stovetop. It's horrific. So I haven't decided, but yeah, the cornbread recipe, I'm pretty sure it's already over on Discord. I know it must be. I don't know how to search over there, but take a look first and see if it's on our Discord community. Or Google Shea Spence, S-H-A-Y. His cornbread recipe is to die. It is so easy. It uses the, what do you call the famous brand that we have in America? Those little boxes for cornbread. You know what I mean? Those famous old Jiffy. It uses those. I can't even remember what else you add to it. It's a very simple recipe. It's a to die for recipe. I can look really quick. I may have it on my, oh, Marion, you were coming to town, I thought. I'll come to Denver for Christmas. Well, Christmas, I'm already going to Chicago. Christmas, thank you though. We've got Christmas covered at least. That's for this year. I mean, although Christmas, Christmas, we sort of try to do family because also when am I going to see them otherwise, Thanksgiving, however, disaster. Let me find the Shea's cornbread recipe. It's so good. Is it one word? Yes. This is the recipe. Yes. Okay. Actually, I'm just going to show you his recipe. So, screen cap this. This is Shea's recipe. Just screen cap it. All right. Grab a picture of the screen. That's the recipe. It's amazing. Just grab a picture of the screen, however you do it. All right. I'm going to show the other guys. It is the chives. I'm 50-50 on the chives. You guys, same things. Grab the screen. I'm 50-50 on the chives, to be honest. Just grab a screenshot and read it later. There. I'm very 50-50 on the chives. I've tried the chives. They work, but they're a little weird at the same time. I would skip the chives. But otherwise, like I said, butter. And what I do with the butter, by the way, I brown the butter. He browns the butter too. Okay, he does. Yeah, brown the butter. 2 packages of Jiffy. Half cup buttermilk. 3 tablespoons chives. Skip the chives. 2 eggs plus 1 egg yolk adds a little more fat. 1/4 cup honey. That's it. And I don't know why. It makes I'll show you one more time. It makes a ridiculously flavorful recipe, and I don't know why. I was telling my nephew about it, who's very picky, and he tried them and he went, "Oh my God, these are good." Like basically, it's not like eating cupcakes because it's cornbread, but they're sumptuous, they're luxurious in some way. I mean, the buttermilk must do it. The eggs, whatever. And the browned butter. There's just something. Well, I'm showing you guys in a second on YouTube. This is for TikTok. All right, here, YouTube one more time. Here we go. Yep. I was showing each separately because it's too hard to show both at once. So just grab the screenshot. Trust me, delicious. Now it says 12. I think I got more like 16. It obviously depends on the size of your muffins, you know? Oh my God, so good. I mean, again, ridiculously. Try it. You try it and you will see. Mom was a big cornbread fan, and I was always like, cornbread, because it's dry. You know, corn muffins are dry. Stop! Corn muffins are dry. These corn muffins are not dry. They're delicious. French butter. Yeah, I don't think I would use French butter only because I don't want to waste my French butter. Probably is better with French butter. Although American butter, once it's browned, you've got such flavor from the brown that you might not even need the French at that point. You know what I mean? It's gonna be, you know, it's not too small on the phone. You can grab a picture of that. Well, it depends. If you're looking on your phone, you're in trouble. It's going to be just as big on the iPad. Here, grab it one more time. Just grab a picture. It's not too small. That should be fine, even on a phone. Grab the picture and then look at it later. Just grab a screenshot, going once, going twice, all right, signing off. There we go. Yeah, just grab the picture and then expand it. It's easy to read. Corn. Yeah, I'm sure you could probably add corn to it. You'd have to be careful because you're adjusting recipes, of course, right? How to add the corn in a way that works. But yeah, it's tremendous recipe. So anyway, that made me very happy. But I thought of my mom's cheesecake, but I was like, cheesecake, that's a little too much trouble. You know, and I'm already making the stuffing, but I figure the cranberries, not so easy too. They're easy, but I find it's difficult. I may go buy some Cointreau or something. I think it's difficult to get cranberries to be the right flavor. Like I often find they're close, but they're not quite, French butter, meaning literally butter made in France. The Europeans tend to be very good with butter, better than we are. France in particular has delicious butter. Their butter there is often made with a little bit fermented or something, like I forget what it is, but like a yogurt or whatever, so that the French butter will often have a little bit of a sour taste to it. They'll put salt in there too, so you get a touch of sour, touch of salt. It's often much better if you're using butter, for example. Irish butter is good too. If you're using butter, like eating toast with butter on it, right? Like a baguette. Like it for breakfast, I don't make it much, but I'll make a baguette. I would toast a baguette and eat it with butter, jam maybe too, and coffee, and then have another breakfast later on. Then I like French butter because you taste it. I don't use French butter just to cook because I think that's a waste of money. But I do use it if I'm eating a croissant, right? Warm croissant, I put butter on it. I use French butter, or Irish is still good. Because you're literally tasting the butter. Or when I make my buttermilk biscuits I'm going to make soon, I don't know if I would use French butter in the biscuits, but I would use French butter on the biscuits. Anything where you're literally eating the butter and you're going to taste the butter like this, I would use it. I would not necessarily use it, like I said, baked in brownies or something. I don't think you'd taste the difference. It's a lot of money. One more time. All right, one more time, kind-hearted. All right. One more time with the recipe. Just ignore all the writing on the bottom of the screen, but that should be there. There we go. That should be enough for you to see. Hopefully it's enough for you to see. Actually, I'll move over here. That may get out of the way of the writing. Got it? All right. Hopefully that's enough. Your phone won't let you screenshot. Why is that? Then just, because you're on your phone, you can't, I was going to say take a photo, but you can't take a photo. It won't let you screenshot? That's bizarre. I'm trying to think. I can try. Oh no, I can't put photos on, I can't put a photo on YouTube. Even I can't put photos on YouTube, but I can. Here's what I can do for YouTube. At the risk of, first I'm going to go look for the recipe. I'll bet you the recipe is in here. I know I put it here already. Sasha, quiet. Cornbread. I will bet you I've got the cornbread recipe in here already. No, I do not. Did I spell cornbread? No, I don't. Funny. How interesting. All right. I'm going to post the cornbread recipe in here. 1 second here. All right. And then I will put the link at least for you guys over there. Oops. Now I've got to send it to myself. Did I send it to myself already? I did not. All right. Let me send the cornbread recipe to myself. 1 second. I'm doing this for the YouTube folks. TikTok, you've already seen it. All right, there we go. There we go. Now let me see if I can just copy and paste it here. There we go. Cornbread recipe to die for. Okay, it is now in the food section on Discord, and I can post the link for you guys, which you may have to join my Discord. I don't know, but at least for YouTube, you guys can go see it. It will not let me post pictures. Correct. I cannot post pictures. Yeah. Okay. Good enough. That's as close as I can get. So, all right. All right. So that should help. All right. It's 7:20, guys. I'm going to get going. Thank you for the last minute gift, Terry. But as I said, it's a to die for recipe. Highly, highly recommend. I mean, cannot tell you enough how good that recipe is. Oh my God. Oh my God. So good. Like I said, even the nephew who's picky was like, Uncle John goes, those things are delicious. Again, Shay has a lot of fun recipes. He's got a lot of regular guy American recipes, and they're very good. I think he's got good taste. So that they're easy recipes. They're interesting. They're very American. Like Shay for Super Bowl recipes. Oh my God, he's got the best stuff. But they're really good too, which is why, like I said, I saw the cornbread one. It was easy, and I mean, I don't know what he does to it that makes it so good. Again, it's got the buttermilk. They're not corn muffins. They're luscious, but they taste like corn muffins, but they're luscious. Oh, anyway. They are joining us for Thanksgiving. So give it a try. Let me know. I'm always curious to hear what people think of the recipes. So, all right, guys, I'm going to sign off at 7:20. So thank you for joining. Thank you for the gifts. Thank you, subscribers and all of that. I'm back tomorrow night, 6 o'clock Eastern. And remember, Saturday, and Sasha gets her treat. And then Saturday morning at 11 a.m., I've got the show for the super fans on TikTok, YouTube, and Discord subscribers as well. So join me then. All right. Kalinitasas. All right. Have a good night, guys. Thank you so much. All right, Discord, starting with you. By Discord. All right. Well, that's good. At least we figured out the recipe for the rest of you guys. All right. See you guys on YouTube. All right. That's